Hey guys and gals, this is Sonic Arrow with the Black Prince British Tier 7 Heavy Tank, and this tank is pretty much the same as the Churchill 1 and the Churchill 7. The Black Prince is based on a Churchill design. It's a trench tank, so it's slow, it's got some armor, and it's got a pretty small gun. Let's see. It's got an okay amount of armor, so it's got 152 on the front of the hull and the turret, 95 on the side of both, 95 on the back of the turret, but only 25 on the back of the hull, right here. So this is your basic weak point, well, the most weak of your weak points. Other weak points would be right here because it's completely flat, and of course right here, it's not really a lower plate, as that's over here, but it's kind of like a mid plate, these two pieces. And they are not 152 millimeters thick. It doesn't seem like it. Things keep on going through here rather easily. Tracks, well, you can get tracked from the front, so it's not that bad. It's the same as other tanks anyway. It's got 1,450 hit points, so the same as the Tier 7 German tanks. Weighs 50 tons, it's got a 600 horsepower engine, and a top speed of 20 kilometers per hour, so not that great. Track traverse of 20 degrees per second and turret traverse of 30 degrees per second seems kind of low, but actually, when you are turning in a circle, it moves rather quickly. You can't really be circled by medium tanks that much, but light tanks will obviously get around you quite fast. View range 370 meters and a signal range of 700 meters is pretty standard for this tier. Now, the cannons you will have to go around with. Well, there's only two. It's the 77mm Mark II and then the 17-pounder Mark VII. The 77mm is the same cannon you get on the Comet and on the Churchill 7. 148mm penetration, 140 damage. It's not that great, but it fires quite fast, 14.29 rounds per minute. And if we check accuracy, 0.34 and 2.3 seconds of aiming time, it's not bad. You're going to have to go up to enemy tanks and aim for weak spots quite a lot. The upgraded cannon, 17-pounder, it's 12 rounds per minute, so it's not as fast, but it gets a boost in penetration of 171 and 150 damage. 0.34 accuracy and 2.3 seconds of aiming time. So the aiming time is pretty standard. Accuracy, it's not that bad, and if you can put on a vertical stabilizer on this guy, it's pretty decent. You can fire on the move if you need to. And because of the fast reload, it's not that bad. You can fire. It's got 67, well, I have 67 rounds of armor piercing, 10 rounds of premium, and 7 HE. If we take a look at that, 100 credits for armor piercing, 56 for HE, and 2,800 for the premium, or 7 gold. I just keep a standard fire extinguisher, small repair kits, and small first aid kit. Don't really need the fire extinguisher too much. I don't think I've ever been set on fire in this tank, but you never know. If you're getting shot in the back, you might get set on fire, and you might need it. So I'm only going to use the basic fire extinguisher, the manual one. Don't need to spend 20,000 credits on an automatic fire extinguisher. But, yeah, I haven't really needed to, so that's why. Crew, well, they're just training in repairs, except for the driver in clutch braking, so I can turn a little bit better. That's just to avoid being circled too much. Angling this tank is a bit of a problem, and also the turret is in the middle, just like the other Churchills. When you try to angle this tank, you want to try angle it like this. However, you are still exposing the front bits here. So really, side scraping is your best bet. You want to present just your side armor try to keep this covered by a building, and you should be able to point your gun out. You know, you don't want to reveal too much of your tank, and get off a couple of shots, one, maybe two, because your reload's pretty fast. If you can track your enemies in a compromising position, this is the tank you want to be doing that with, because you can continuously keep that person tracked and most likely do damage. Now, the Black Prince is pretty good in a Tier 7 match. In Tier 8 matches, it gets a little bit wonky, because the penetration on Tier 8 tanks gets a lot better, and this thing, well, the armor doesn't stand up too well. And in Tier 9 matches, it's just pretty terrible. This thing is slow. Their guns will punch through you, no problem. And you're a pretty big target. Artillery actually likes to shoot at slow targets, so you're going to have to watch out for that as well. Equipment, I've got a rammer, vertical stabilizer, and vents, just to improve the reload and aiming time of the tank. Research, I'm not sure what you get. You obviously don't get the tracks. Do you get this? You get this on the Cromwell, but not any of the Churchills. So you want to research this engine, because 600 horsepower is much better than 350. You are not moving with this Bedford Twin 6. It's complete garbage. If you have the stock engine, you're just not moving anywhere. If you're near the cap, you're going to defend it. It's going to take you probably 5 minutes to get to the middle of the map, depending on how large it is. Radio-wise, this is on the Crusader and the Churchill 1, so that's not bad. This one is on the Comet AT-15. So you won't have this radio either. And obviously this one is Black Prince, well, the heavy tank line only, except for the Centurion, which is Tier 8. So if you've researched your way up the British medium line, you'll have some of these unlocked. I've got, for example, here we are on Ensk, and my usual path on this map in a counter battle is into the train yard over here. I'm going to have to use the armor of this thing. Since it's a Tier 7 battle, I should be able to balance quite a few shots. There's 2 artillery on each side. The Hummel is the one I have to look out for. M7 Priest is not too much of a concern, but it does fire quite quickly.
Penetration.
Stock KV-3's turret is not that strong. And I was just trying to get another shot in, but I hit the wall. He got into cover before I could shoot him again. Not much really happening at the moment. The enemy team is stuck on that corner, and T-43 is the one holding them there. So, I may need to move up a little bit, or I'm thinking about moving up anyway. Problem is, once you move up, I'm kind of in the open to the artillery. VK over here. I missed my shot. And he gets away. How about this U-100? Is he gonna come through? No, I don't think so. Okay, so the T-43's moved up, presenting his rear armor to the enemy. I don't know why. He's also not moving. Well, he's doing a pretty good job. Artillery just tried to fire on me. Trying to fire on the move, didn't work. Hit the ground there. Okay. Managed to track the Jackson so he can't get out of the way. And there's a bounce. Oh! Managed to do 0 damage there. Okay. VK bounced on me. And I bounced on the VK. Great. SU-100's still not in position yet. So weak point on the VK-3601H over there. Driver's viewport, I believe that is. Okay. SU-100, can I hit him? I did.
We've lost a track.
And there's the M7 Priest.
We nailed it back.
You can see
Track's up. Let's go.
I'm zooming in quite a bit, but that's because I really want to hit that guy. Where's the SU-100? There he is. And driving on these train tracks means your tank rocks quite a bit. So here's the downfall of having a slow tank. I really dislike this part of it. And that is, when you're being capped, you can barely get back in time. Especially if there's 3 enemies on the cap. So we have a Pathfinder Jackson. They should be able to handle the Hummel. And I'm going to go for the cap, because it's going to take too long for me to go to the Hummel and then back to the cap. Our T-25/2 is doing a pretty good job at defending. However, he's just been taken out. Somebody else is shooting in there too. I'm not sure who it is. Okay. Let's see. Cromwell should take one of the cappers out. T-29, can I get him? There we go. He's down. Tog 2. That was the last guy on the cap. Yeah, there we go. Faster firing cannons are pretty good at defending the cap circle, especially if they have a lot of penetration. This one doesn't have too much penetration, but it is a tier 7 match, so it's not going to be matched up against superior armor that it can't penetrate. So I'm going to head over onto this side, see if I can't surprise him if the T-25/2 decides to come this way and run away from the Panther. And there he is. Managed to track me there, and I tracked him. And that's the last kill, so let's take a look at the stats. Mastery badge, first class, as well as a top gun, and 1,112 points of experience. Let's see, damage dealt, 1,960 points of damage dealt to the enemy, 86 spotting damage, 22 shots fired, 18 hits, 17 penetrations, 33,000 credits on a premium account, non-premium 21,000, so this thing actually makes a little bit more money than some others, mostly because of how low the shell costs are, which is kind of nice. Here we are on Airfield, and I'm going to be moving north, because that's my usual path on this map. Don't really like going south, even if there is artillery or no artillery. The water over there really bogs down slow tanks, and I'm in a really slow tank. I went down there once on a KV-4 and I couldn't turn around at all. I was basically sitting there in the water in one spot and getting hit. So it looks like I've got a Super Pershing coming up with me, and that's about it. IS-3 hasn't moved yet on the mini-map. And Everybody else is going down south. Alright, so normally I go up onto that hill, whoops, over there, to the left. I go up there, but I realized I don't have any backup. It's just me up here. So I'm going to hide behind this rock. Hopefully I'm going to be safe from artillery, depending on where he's positioned. Usually artillery stays near the cap, or goes down south to fire on anybody going down that route. But you never know. Some people will switch positions and they'll be able to get some surprising shots in. So I'm not actually in a very good position. There's an M26 Pershing, VK 3002 DB. Managed to get a snapshot into that guy. Doesn't have a lot of armor. And Type 59 has already crossed over there, and the Super Pershing has retreated. I'm picking the map, calling for help. And I don't know if anybody's actually turned around to help me. Alright, there we go. One shot into the Pershing. I'm tracking him. I want to keep him here, so that he'll be able to get shot and die quite fast. And that will be a tier 8 tank in exchange for me, which is a tier 7, and that's pretty good. There. Ugh, being hit. Ah, he's got the HE cannon. He's not firing premium out of that.
Enemy armor is damaged. That one bounced.
So I'm bouncing quite a few shots here, but eventually that DB is going to switch to HE. I think he's done that right now. Yeah. And I'm still missing. There we go. Finally did some damage. But he's going to whittle me down with HE the entire time.
Enemy armor is damaged. Optics repaired. We can barely see through the scope. Ricochet.
Keep on bouncing over there.
Looks like that one went right through. We've cleared the viewports. Keep your eyes open. We nailed him bad.
One more shot should be able to take care of him, but he retreats. Yeah. There you go. Black Prince holding most of the line right there. I don't know what that DB was doing. Maybe he was wondering if I wasn't going to be aiming in that spot at all. I'm keeping this T-34 lit up. I don't know if... I guess the artillery can't hit him at all. So I know there's 2 tank destroyers up there, and hopefully they're aiming in here. And this T-34 is not moving from his position. I'm watching his turret. It's a little hard to see from the bush, but he's actually looking at me right now. Now he's turned back around. I'm gonna go over here and put a shot in.
They're hit.
Gonna try and track him. Didn't work. And I'm doomed.
Our track is hit. It could break any minute. Enemy is hit.
Oh, and I missed the tracks, so I'm dead now. Yep.
10-4. Everyone get out.
Well, there we go. But I've held this line long enough for our team to get on the cap and finish off anybody else that's left on their team. So really, that's how you have to play a tank like this in a high tier match. Although you can't really rely on the armor like I did, which is and well, I actually worked pretty well in this match, but if they decided to swarm me, it wouldn't have worked out for me. For example, if that T-34 actually came around and shot me, he would have been in a lot better position. It's finally come out. Somebody's got to kill him. There we go. And just an artillery piece left. Where is he? Oh, -6 got him. Alright, now let's take a look at the stats for that game. 1,114 points of experience. I did get 4 spots off. Let's see, 2 kills, 2,323 points of damage dealt to the enemy. Potential damage received 6,480, and only 101 spotting damage, so not that great on my team Spartan shooting the enemies I've been spotting. 48,000 credits earned on a premium account, non-premium 27,900, thereabouts. 27 shots fired, 23 hits, 17 penetrations. I was hit 25 times before I died. That was quite a lot of hits. But that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Please press that like button and leave some comments. I'll see you in future videos.